get is you should be able to hear me now, right? Hello? I could almost afford to turn this down even further, I think. It's like, why is it so loud? Okay, how about now? Alright, that's about as quiet as I can get it without it, like, totally disappearing off the face of the earth completely, so... That's about as good as we're gonna get, so... That's okay, though. That's alright. So, late night yap sesh with the old Tetris on screen. This one's pretty much... Well, it's not a throwaway stream or anything like that. It's as I said, it's a little bit of a yap sesh, you feel me? I would like to position my keyboard in a better spot so as to give me more room for my microphone. Alright. Honestly, there's just so much going on. There is just so much going on, like, in the world right now. So much bad stuff. It can be, like, super easy to get caught up in, and it's just super easy to feel, like, really lost right now. You know what I mean? Like, I know I feel lost. And I'm sure other people feel the same way. And not just because bad things are happening, of course. Like, just, I mean, that's kind of life, though. You get lost, you know? You kind of gotta figure out what your own way is, you know? And I am personally having a bit of a tough time with that. Because, I don't know. It's just like, I want to start all these projects. I want to do all these things. And, like, I have no problem starting a project. It's the follow-through that I really have been struggling with lately. The commitment, if you will. And I don't think it's even due to a lack of discipline, and it's certainly not that my motivation's run out. It's just, I don't know how to describe this without sounding, like, pitiful. But, like, I don't know. Like, the thing is, because I still have, like, motivation to do all of these things. It's just I never ended up doing them, and I'm not quite sure why. I know it is a lack of discipline, but the thing is, I'm totally motivated to do these things, and if I'm motivated to do these things, which I am, why am I not doing them? What's really keeping me from it? Like, how could it possibly be that I want these things so badly, but I just simply don't have them? Like, I'm not even taking the right steps toward achieving these things, you know what I mean? It's just, I don't understand where I'm coming from. How is it that I claim to want these things so badly, but I don't do anything about it? And then you kind of have to wonder, like, is this really what I want to do? Is this really what I wanted? Like, if I wanted to do it that badly, don't you think I would just do it? But, I mean, I don't know. One thing I will say is, it's kind of been like that for my game, honestly. Like, I want to make games. Don't get me wrong, I love making games. I love learning about programming and all that stuff. It's just, well, I don't know. It's kind of like, dang, I was doing alright. About 43 APM isn't bad. I've been, like, really popping off tonight. If I, like, don't talk, I can get, like, 54 APM. Like, I'll do it for a sec right now. I hate putting myself in these types of situations. And now my dog wants out, so that's a little distracting. Excuses. I know. It's kind of a lot of what I've been lately is just excuses. Excuses, empty promises type. A lot of talk. Mainly talk, like all talk pretty much. There we go. I talk talk a big game, but low-key, my follow-through is absolutely abysmal, and I know it. Genuinely. Yeah, I fixed it, nice. Yeah, after an error like that, I don't know about hitting no 54 APM, but one can dream. But no, I mean, like, I like doing this kind of thing, right? I guess the purpose of this stream is I'm gonna just pretty much debate with myself here, and with anybody that might watch. I don't think many people are gonna watch this. I don't really hit the algorithm like crazy, which is fine for now. Like, I'm not really doing this for money. Like, that's not what I'm doing all this for. Like, this is pretty much just something I like doing. You know? But no, I want to get to the bottom of this. Like, I want to figure out by the time I go to sleep, and this is like really late for me. I'm usually like asleep by now. So, you know, I know, staying up past my bedtime. What am I doing here? But, yeah, we're gonna figure out, hopefully, by the time I go to sleep, why exactly it is that I struggle so very much, and if this is really what I want, and if it is what I want, will fixing this fix the problems in my life? Like, that's really, like, all, like, I'm after answers tonight. I'm kind of sick of the indecision. I think that's what a lot of it is. It's just indecision. Like, it's scary to commit my time to one thing, because what if it's the wrong thing? Like, what if I figure out much later that my time would have served me much better had I done something else? I think that's one of the issues I'm having here. It is very scary to commit my time. And the thing is, I'm not normally one of commitment issues. I never have been. It's just, I don't know, it's hard for me to decide what I want to do. And obviously, I'm 19, I don't have to make my lifelong decision anytime soon. And no one's really even saying it has to be, like, one decision that decides everything, you know? You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be one decision. Like, I can tell y'all my plan, it's very stupid. I mean, I say my plan is stupid, but in reality, it's like, the entire reason I came up with it in the first place is because I saw the need for a better alternative. Because, I mean, we all know there's problems financially in the world right now. So, but no, like, I genuinely, I'm gonna be for real with y'all, I plan on being homeless by choice. The job I have right now could afford me a place to live. Sure, I work at Subway, and yeah, I could afford a place to live. Barely, but I could. Oh, I say barely, but I would be okay, as long as it's only me. If there's only me there, and I am single, so it would only be me. Like, I wouldn't have a problem with that, except for the fact that I'm also going to need a vehicle. And I want to pay in cash, because I'm not about to finance a depreciating asset. But the issue is, if I want to get an actual place to live, you need a line of credit nowadays in order to do that for pretty much most places. You need some form of line of credit in order to even get an apartment, let alone a house. And I say get, but it's more like rent. But still, you get my point. And that's the problem. And that means I could get a credit card and then I could make responsible purchases and payments. I believe it's spending less than 30% of the overall limit on the credit card, and then paying it all in full. That is what will boost your credit. The issue is, the credit gains you will see from that are simply just not enough. Like, I would need a vehicle loan. Like, those are seen as very high-risk loans, you know, vehicles. I believe it's like the riskiest loan out there, actually, believe it or not. I mean, I could very well be wrong, mind you, but I believe that's how the banks look at it. It's a risky loan. What am I doing here? What are we scheming? That is such a bad move. Oof. But hey, anything for the T-spin setup. I'm not really focusing too much on the game itself. I'm kind of just yapping along as I play, you know? Kind of let my brain do a couple different things at once. I never said to leave the page, buddy. Not a single time. Okay, I am getting background sound. Sorry, I was just making sure. But no. What was I saying? I kind of forgot what I was saying. I was silent for a little while. My brain moved on. Love when that happens. My chungus life. But no. I mean... Well, oh yeah, right. Credit. Building credit. Like, in order to build the necessary amount of credit, I would have to get, like, a car loan. Probably also a credit card. And, I mean, I am responsible with my money. Don't get me wrong. I'm really good with my money, just naturally. I don't have impulses to buy things, really. Except, I mean, the keyboard I am currently on, I decided I wanted. That was not necessarily just because, ooh, I want a new keyboard. I mean, I had a reason to at least buy it. I was using a 5-year-old office keyboard for the longest time, and I couldn't see in the dark. And if I wanted to see in the dark, like for typing, I would have to up my monitor's brightness, and now that I have the monitor, I'm gonna call it a display. I mean, it's not like a basic monitor, not even, it's like a little portable display, but it is OLED, and it does get really bright in a dark room. So, I mean, you know, I really prefer not to fry my eyeballs. So instead, I decided, you know what, I'm going to get a keyboard. But I don't want to just get any keyboard. I want to get a keyboard that I'm going to keep for a very long time. A keyboard that's really going to last me, so it's got to be high quality. And obviously, it means a hefty price. But I did buy this keyboard, and I'm probably going to keep it for, like, at least, like, I'm planning on keeping this thing for a minimum of 5 years. I mean, like, this thing is built like an absolute freaking tank, dude. It's like solid. It's solid aluminum chassis, you know? You know what I mean? Like, it's expensive as shit. And certainly I don't like paying over $200 for a keyboard. But I could have gotten a better deal, I know, but I really did like the way this one looked. I will admit, the keyboard thing there was some sense of utility to it, sure. I can make that argument, but ultimately, I really liked the way it looked. And I like the way it sounds. I think it sounds really nice. And honestly, it's super responsive compared to that like, office keyboard. Like, this thing responds instantly. I mean, it's also a Hall effect keyboard, so I would expect it to be pretty quick. Like, this thing's got some pretty impressive specs. Like, it's definitely one of the best options for, like, really responsive keyboards. It's just super expensive. Like, it's not worth the price, don't get me wrong. You can get better Hall effect keyboards for probably, like, $100, but, like, this thing's just kind of fancy. That's pretty much the be-all, end-all. And I plan on keeping this thing, as I said, for a while. Anyway, we've gotten mega sidetracked. Why do I want to be homeless? I feel like the word... Oh, 56 APM. It popped off big time. I feel like the word homeless has a super negative stigma. Does anybody else think that? I feel that way. Truth be told, I feel like being homeless has a super negative stigma attached to it. Like, you're a bum if you're homeless, right? You're a loser if you're homeless. That's terrible, right? But the thing is, I don't really see it that way, because think about it like this. Think about it like this. Okay, so, like, let's say I get a place to live. Let's say I do have the credit necessary. Well, then I'm paying off my credit card, which is fine. I would just use it on stuff I was buying anyway, you know? Like, so that wouldn't really increase my cost I believe most credit cards don't have like a fee, or there's like a really small yearly fee of like 20 something bucks to keep the card going. Or maybe that's like if you don't use the card or something. I don't remember quite how that works. I haven't looked into credit cards because I don't want to look into credit cards. That's like not an option for me. Anyway, so I'd still be doing all of that, and assuming I have the necessary credit, it's guaranteed I took out an auto loan, which means I'd be making car payments, I'd be paying car insurance, and I'd be paying for a place to live, which around here nowadays, for literally anything, not just something like good, but just literally anything, it's about $700 or $800 a month. Why does my voice sound like that? But no, like, you know, that's like low-key. I think being homeless is a genuine strategy. And I'm not even kidding. I'm not even bullshitting right now. Like, being homeless is a genuine economic strategy that you could use. Do I recommend it? No. I've been looking into it heavy because I've been super interested in it. Because, like, low-key, it seems like a solid strat. And even after looking into it, I still think that. It's just not a very comfortable way of living. At all. Like, at all. It's super uncomfortable, unless you, like, especially if you're trying to live out of a regular car. I mean, dude, your sleep is going to be terrible. Like, you're not going to, it just doesn't seem sustainable. Like, let's say you do find a way for it to be comfortable. You still are at, I don't know, because, like, I know for a fact if I do, like, be homeless, like, I'm not going to feel safe. That's the thing. Like, think about it, you know, your car's got windows, and you're sleeping in your car, and it's just like, there's just not much between you and literally any malicious person, right? And like, you know, people break into cars, you know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I just don't think I'd feel safe. I'd probably get used to it. I would always be on edge, though, and I cannot deny that that would take its toll on me. But, like, low-key, I think it would be worth it. It'd be worth it because, one, alright, so let's assume I don't have to get a home. That means I don't need a line of credit, right? I don't need a line of credit, which means I don't have to take out an auto loan. Which means I can pay for my car in full. I won't be making car payments. I will still need auto insurance, which is fine. That's about half the cost. You know what I mean? So, like, that's totally fine. I'm willing to do that. But here's the thing. I would still be putting away a very, very solid, like, $800 a month that I would be spending on, like, rent. Like, I'm not taking out the new 50-year mortgage anytime soon. I'm not doing that. So I'd be putting away an extra $800 a month. And, yeah, I wouldn't be living very comfortably. Like, that is the price you pay. But at the end of the day, that money that you could be, like, think about it. If you had an extra $800 a month, what would you put it towards? Like, that's a lot of money. That's a ton of money. It's so much money. It makes living off of any job possible, even in today's economy. I work at Subway, and I could very well live out of a car. Like, and have plenty of money to spare. And I only work like 24 hours a week. I don't work a hard job at all. And as long as I'm willing to pay the price, I can put away more money than people working full-time jobs. All because I wouldn't have a house. You know what I mean? And I think that is just incredibly interesting. That more people don't do it just because they don't want to be quote-unquote homeless. I think the correct term is houseless, in my opinion, because, like, your car is your home. It just so happens to be on wheels. It's like a smaller mobile home. So can you really call it homeless if your car is what you can still call home? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's just my thought on that. I think being homeless is a genuine strat. And I've been contemplating it. I've been saving up a whole bunch of money. So I do not want to... Okay, I think we're cooked, guys. Wait. No way, we're not. Wait. That's crazy. That's insane. Anyway, I have saved up a whole bunch of money, and low-key, I plan on paying my car off in full, whatever car I get. I want it to have super low miles. Like, that would be such a power play. It would be absolutely huge. It would be absolutely huge to get that early game. I'm gonna talk about my life like it's fucking some fucking game. It's so stupid. My life's just like a, like, I'm not like that, but like, you know what I mean? Like, it's strategic is what it is. You could almost see it as kind of like a game of chess, like just controlling assets, like how you'd control pieces on a chessboard. And my dog really wants outside of my room. I'm assuming he doesn't like the fact I'm talking so much, and the fact that my keyboard is going clickety-clack. But, I mean, hey, that's alright. There we go. Boom. Now, I will say, if I do want to, like, raise a family, sure. I mean, I definitely would not want my family to be homeless. I think that would be, okay, that's not gonna work. I think that'd be terrible, actually. It's definitely not suitable for a family, but low-key, if it's just me, which it is just me, so, I'm just saying. Alright, be free, buddy. Go. There, go. There, I'm not doing this right now. It's, like, past midnight, and you're not going O-U-T-S-I-D-E. So if you're gonna make a fuss, just please come over. Okay. Sorry, bud. I hate to kick the I don't like kicking the dog out of my room. I typically don't do that. I don't like doing that because it's not fair. But it is past midnight. He's probably just gonna bark outside, and we're not doing that. Anyway. But no, yeah, I think that's low-key my plan. If I'm being, like, totally honest, that might very well just be my plan. Just be homeless. Like, I say it jokingly, but I do mean it. Like, it comes off as a joke because it just seems like such a ludicrous idea. And I just don't understand that. I mean, it does seem like a ludicrous idea, but why does it seem like a ludicrous idea? Why have we been told that that is just absolutely not feasible, when in reality it's more than feasible? Okay, think about it. Like, let's think about this here. Like, as long as you have starter money, you can totally do it and be, like, totally fine. What I mean is, like, obviously in my position, right now I'm 19 years old, working at Subway, and I live with my parents. But they let me, not just because, like, you know, I'm their child. They can see that I'm putting away big money. Like, I'm not just staying here spending all this money on stuff I want. You know, I'm not doing all that. The thing is, I don't know. I'm gonna go off on a bit of a tangent here, but I've never really understood how people have money problems. But I'm not saying that to be uppity. I'm saying I genuinely don't relate to it. And I don't relate to it because I've never actually had much impulse to buy anything. And anything that I ever have wanted has been hyper expensive, so it's forced me to learn how to save anyway. For example, my big screen Beyond headset that you're listening to right now. That was $1 grand. And I ordered it when they were like just starting, so I had to wait 5 months after I submitted my face scan, which feels so weird to say. It just feels so dystopian. I submitted my face scan. That's some crazy stuff. But like low-key, I had to, like, it was at a time where I didn't have money. Like, I didn't have any money. Because I think I was still in school. I think that's why. I wasn't working, like, crazy hours. I think I was working weekends, and that was it. Because I remember during my last year of school, since I did my junior and senior classes in the same year, like, it was just absolutely hellish. Because literally all throughout the week, my boss would just schedule me closing shifts, like, at 4 to 10. Which might not sound that bad, except school literally gets out at 4. Not at 4, but at like 3:47. So I wouldn't have time to do my homework. I wouldn't have time for anything. And when you're trying to put 2 years in one, you just can't do that. You know what I mean? That's just not feasible. It's not possible. I mean, I'm sure it is. It's just not... it's not exactly what I want to do. You know? Nobody really wants to do that. I low-key wish I didn't graduate that extra year early, because honestly, I regret it. Because, like... I literally told the school board, yeah, you know, it would look really good on, like, I don't know, a college application. And then I proceeded not to go to college. And I'm still not going to go to college either. That is a scam. That is an absolute scam, and you cannot convince me otherwise. Have you seen student loans? No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm not going to go to school to make a few extra bucks an hour just to pay off student loans for like 10 years. That is ridiculous. That is ludicrous. And I'm not saying if you go to college you're wasting your money, because you're not. You do get paid more. It is just really unfortunate that the job market is so absolutely, I don't know how to describe it other than uncertain, I guess. Very uncertain in my opinion. Because it's like, especially computer science right now, if you know, you know. The forbidden 2-letter acronym. If you know, you know. But like, it's, I don't know, it's, I just don't see a point, especially right now, when, like, who knows what jobs are even going to be in the future. It could very well just be a waste. And the question is, if, like, said letters, if that, like, takes over and shit, and, like, we don't have jobs anymore, we're all trying to live off of universal basic income. Like, the question is, what's going to happen to people's student loans? Are those going to disappear? Are they going to be forced to pay that off as well? How's that going to work? You know? Like, so many questions, like, it's just not thought out enough for me to commit that amount of money. Money that I don't even have, mind you. Like, that's the whole problem I have, like, especially with our economy, like, these days, is that buying things you can't afford is incredibly normalized. You know, you want to rent everything. Renting your homes, and then they're going to want you to rent your computers, that way you don't own anything, that whole thing, you know. I just don't understand. Just save. I mean, I'm not one to talk. I've never had a problem with that, so I really can't speak on other people's behalf, but from my perspective, as insensitive as it might sound, literally just save money. Just be responsible. Be responsible, you know? It is a virtue to be temperate and to be, you know, prudent, if you will. You know, like, if you are getting something you can't really afford, maybe don't get the thing. It's just a thought. And if it's a vehicle, well, you know, your parents are there for a reason. And I will say, not everybody has the best parents. I totally understand. And I'm not saying you try to get money from your parents. I'm saying maybe ask to live with them for a little bit until you can get a vehicle. It doesn't even have to be a good vehicle. You can get a decent used vehicle that will more than what words am I looking for here? Get a good used vehicle that will more than pay itself off. That's what I'm looking for. Yep. It will pay itself off. Like, by the time that car goes to absolute shit, you will have earned enough, and hopefully if you're responsible, will have saved enough to get a newer or just another vehicle. You know? And I understand there's luck. There's luck. Sometimes, you know, you get a scummy seller, or sometimes you get a good seller that means well, and the car still goes bad. You know, I mean, it's random stuff, you know, like luck, right? Totally. Understandable. And that's stuff you can't control. But, like, if you control what you can control, generally, like, I feel like a lot of people don't. A lot of people live outside their means and all that, and I feel like that just, it's part of the reason we're in the mess we're in. You feel me? Everyone's in debt. Nobody owns anything. Everyone's unhappy. No one can afford to live. I'm just saying, if we all stopped renting our homes, if we all just went homeless, what could they do? No, because then they would be inclined to do something, because they'd be losing out on so much money that they get from pretty much swindling us, you know what I mean? If everyone went homeless, if everyone lived out of their vehicle, they would lose so much rent money. You'd think they might be inclined to lower rent prices. And we all know they don't need to be that high. Like, let's not fool ourselves. Like, sure, the economy is bad, but McDonald's is still cheap, you feel me? I hope that makes sense. Sometimes it's hard to tell if what I'm saying makes sense or if I'm absolutely just throwing nonsense out there. What did I just do? Oof. No, I'm not going to use any openers. I don't like using openers. It makes the game predictable, and frankly, Tetris is supposed to be random, so no thanks. Damn. Alright, well, we're just going to have to roll with that. Anyway, so back to what I was originally saying. I love that I just totally go off on a tangent when I'm trying to speak, but this is literally a stream named a yap sesh, so, you know, it's kind of what it's for. Anyway, what do I want to do, right? So, I'm thinking I'm gonna be homeless, I'm gonna be absolutely making fat stacks, working whatever job I work, it, like, doesn't even matter. Like, again, I could literally keep my current job and just, like, be alive, like, without a home, you know what I mean? And I would be totally fine. So, I think I'm gonna do that. Now, what do I want for, like, this channel and stuff? Like, what do I want to do, like, with my life, though? That is something everybody ponders, and it takes a very long time to answer that question, right? And I don't know why, but for some reason, I just feel compelled to answer the question quickly. I feel like I don't want to sit around. But I also need to recognize the fact that I never give myself time to reflect anymore. I used to, and I don't anymore. What I mean is, there's always music, there's always a video playing, there's always something stealing my attention, or at least some of my attention. Like, there's always something. There's literally always at least one thing. Like, it's never just me, you know? There's always noise, and I don't like it. I don't give myself a proper chance to ask myself these questions normally. And even as I'm asking myself these questions right now, not only am I streaming, but I'm playing a game as I contemplate this. I'm just, I don't know, hopeless. The brain rot, if you will, is just significant. I don't even scroll anymore. And the only scrolling I ever did was on Shorts. It wasn't like TikTok or, thank God it wasn't Reels, you know what I mean? Holy, from what I hear, dude, that place is a mess. That place, you see people dying and stuff on Reels. It's crazy stuff. I don't know how that's allowed, but whatever. But no, so like, it's just, again, it's like, oh man. Sometimes I just go off on a tangent and I forget what it is that I'm talking about, you know? Mental illness 101. That was so fucking cringe. I'm never saying anything like that ever again. Genuinely, somebody needs to stop me from saying shit like that, because that is just terrible. I would love to play that off as irony, but no, like, straight up, I'm gonna be for real. That was, I mean, I know I'm not mentally ill, don't get me wrong, it was sarcasm, but it wasn't irony, and that is just disgusting. That was just so gross. Never let me say that again. Jeez, that is, oh, gee willikers, dude. Genuinely disgusting. Cannot believe I said that. That is wild. But no. So, yeah, I don't ever give myself a chance to reflect, and it leads to my mind getting a little muddied, if you will. Like, my thoughts are just not clear. I'm not relaxed. I'm always tense. And one thing I find really weird, and I don't know if this is a relatable experience or not, but I'm always tense specifically around my eyes. Like, sorry, I need to drink something. Give me a sec. Ew. Energy drinks are so fucking gross. I'm so glad I quit them. I'm only drinking them because I want to get to the bottom of this. Like, I had this whole thing planned out. Like, I knew I wanted to stream tonight. Anyway, what was I saying? Right. I always get this, I'm always, like, really tense around my eyes. Like, the muscles my eyes use to move and, like, contract, they're always tensed up, despite the fact that I'm never squinting. You know, I don't really squint very much. I don't really have to. Because, like, example, I work at Subway. I don't have to read the sandwiches off the menu because I know the sandwiches. I've worked there a long time. So, like, I know I'm not squinting there. And I'm never squinting to read because everything I read is up close. Which is probably why I'm nearsighted, but it's besides the point. It's not really what I'm talking about. But, I don't know. Like, I'm always just super tense around my eyes. And I actually have, like, some forehead wrinkles now, so I know I'm not imagining it. Like, there is just something causing me to be really tense. Like, genuinely, like, I'm gonna be for real with you guys, like, I'm genuinely, like, tense. Like, and my eyes are always fatigued because of it. Like, the muscles around my eyes are always tired. And, like, it makes my vision, like, really blurry. Like, I notice for, like, the first hour when I'm awake, my vision is fantastic. And then it's like, I don't know, my eye muscles just get torn to shreds, and then it's just, like, back to normal, blurry vision. Anybody else feel that way? Like, I don't know, maybe that's just me, but no, I never give myself time. And, yeah, it leads to a lot of just stress, I feel. Because I noticed, like, so for example, I believe just a day or two ago, like, again, that's the thing, when I don't give myself time, I lose track of the days very easily. Like, they just start going by in a blur, and it is just a terrible, terrible feeling. Like, I'm just so caught up in my own life, and I hate that feeling so much. I really do. It's not a good feeling for me. I prefer to be in the present moment, and, like, when even the present starts really slipping by, and I start to lose my grip, and I'm just, like, the days are just the same over and over, you know, it's just so monotonous. It is miserable. I tell you what, and, you know, that's rich coming from someone who lives in, like, a first world country, but, like, it just because I'm not struggling in the same ways or at the same severity as somebody else doesn't invalidate my issues, you know what I mean? Like, we all, even rich people have issues and struggles. Well, they've certainly got issues, we know that much as of late, but, you know, struggles as well. Like, if a rich person's parents both died tragically in a car accident, like, say what you will, but both of that person's parents just died, you know? Like, they are still suffering a huge loss. I don't care how much money they have to cry on. Like, that still hurts, you know what I mean? Like, they're still human. Most of them. But yeah, I don't know. What was I saying? Again, that's what I mean. I just did it again. Like, what was I really talking about? Not giving myself time, the tenseness around my eyes, we already covered that. I don't quite remember. It could also be the Tetris taking away from my attention. That is plausible, but it would be really boring if I just sat here and talked with absolutely nothing going on. So we're gonna do this, because I low-key, I don't want to get rusty. Dude, I am so much faster at this game than I was. I don't think I've even mentioned why I got into Tetris, or what got me into Tetris. Like, I think I'm going off on such a tangent again, but, like, see, and that's part of the thing. It's like, I have so many ideas that, like, just grab my attention. Like, so many amazing ideas. Like, these ideas feel absolutely like incredible ideas, like truly. These feel like they are like pretty cracked ideas, but it's like that constantly for me, and I always want to start something new, and that's why I never get any actual full projects done. That's why you haven't seen the Minecraft hardcore world, because it's because I started my game development. And to be fair, I am sticking to the game thing. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm still making progress on that. Like, and I'm still being consistent, because I don't know, I do really enjoy making games. Well, making a game so far. And like, it's not my first project, it's actually my second project. My first one, I'm not totally scrapping it, but I'm definitely, again, I never asked to leave the page. I don't understand what's going on there, but sure. I'm not even, like, what key am I pressing? The same ones I've been pressing for the past, like, however long I've been streaming. Like, come on now. Brother. Alright, we're gonna do that. But no. Yeah, the whole reason I got into Tetris, I remember, well, the memory is kind of foggy at this point. I remember the details, and I remember the visual part of it. I forget the exact circumstances, though. I believe we were chilling at my brother's friend's house, and I guess I get past my brother's friend's phone, and they were like, yo, try out Tetris. Like, you're smart, try out Tetris. And I was abysmal at Tetris. Like, I mean this in the worst way possible. My little feeble brain could not comprehend Tetris. This was like, I'd want to say, when I was like maybe 12, 13-ish. That's a really rough estimate. That could be a total fib for all I know. You know, I'm genuinely not sure. I was young. I was a youngin'. Obviously, I was not the esteemed Tetris player you see before you right now. But I was like so bad at it. But one thing I found was that I low-key was like, it just grabbed my attention. Like, I wanted to get better at it, not just to. I think part of it, like, to begin with, was definitely like, oh, I want to show this dude. I'm gonna get really good at this. Oh, my phone's dying. That's nice. I probably should have plugged that in so I could see if anybody chats. But anyway, I am actually going to plug that in. I don't care if this just drags on. That's not the right thing. Oh, it must be in. We're just gonna give me a sec. So I'll still keep explaining though. So part of it was definitely like, I want to show this guy, and like I also just really like getting good at things. And the thing is, I knew I could get good at Tetris because like all my life I was told, oh, you're so smart. Oh my gosh. So that's kind of been ingrained into me now, and I hold a genuine belief that I can learn anything. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I haven't found anything that's beyond my comprehension yet, so my belief, my potential delusion remains unchallenged, you know. I mean, just saying. Until I find something that I truly cannot wrap my head around given, like, enough time, until then, I will actually believe that I can learn anything. That's what I've been told my whole life, and it stuck pretty hard. And yeah, it's given me a pretty unrealistic amount of confidence in myself, but I mean, you know, that's just how it is, though. That's just one of the unfortunate side effects of positive reinforcement. They really did make me believe that I could do anything, and I believe that to this day. Though I do have the awareness to recognize that was like low-key just drilled into my head without any real basis. I mean, aside from like, I think at the time it was like my test scores or something, but like, I'm talking when I was young, like in kindergarten, like that stuff doesn't matter. That stuff does not matter. Like, that's what I was told. Anyway, so I was learning Tetris, I was playing it, and I don't know, I guess somewhere along the way it stopped being about proving myself and more just about enjoying like the gameplay loop. And the reason why I enjoy Tetris so much, well, one, I'm good at it, and it's definitely much easier to enjoy something you're good at, but it's not just that I'm good at it, because I wasn't good at it originally, so what was it then? It was just, like, just take a look at the gameplay here and tell me what you notice. Like, most people, when they think of Tetris, or when I mention Tetris to them, I haven't really talked to people much as of late, but like, back in school, I remember I actually did a presentation on Tetris, and I explained the core fundamentals. Nobody was interested. Nobody cared. Like, let's just put it simply, nobody cared. And it didn't hurt my feelings, it was low-key socially painful. Like, everybody seemed so disinterested, like they had this look on their face, it was just like, bruh. Which is totally understandable. Like, yeah. Low-key, I get it. I made a presentation on Tetris. We were using Google Slides. I spent like super long on like a little animation for it and everything. It was like actually pretty solid. I even did the little ghosting effect in my animation. It was absolutely fire. It was a very short animation though. I planned to make it longer, but I just ended up not committing to it because I low-key did not have the time. I had other things to do. But anyway, so one thing I notice when I bring Tetris up to people is they just seem so disinterested. Because Tetris, it's just that boring game, right? It's just the boring game all the boomers play. It's an old game. This game is ancient. This is the Atari game. You know what I mean? Like, what is there to Tetris? You're just moving shapes around and destroying lines, and you're stacking it up and doing it all over again. And that's true. But that's where I find a lot of the beauty in the game. It's so simple. It is such a... Here, I'm going to turn my phone back on so I can actually see chat. I don't know if people are chatting or not. You see, that's what I mean? It's hard to tell. So the phone is turning back on. But anyway, the reason why I love Tetris so much is it's so just simple. It is such a simple concept. Like, look at this. I'm just moving and placing, and moving and placing, and it's a loop that never ends. And a lot of people find it boring. And which I find it very strange. Like, this is considered like a very smart person kind of game. You know what I mean? Like, if you're like a Tetris legend, you're a freaking genius. Like, take a look at your spatial reasoning. It's insane. And, I mean, there's some truth to that. Tetris, I believe, does make you a little smarter. Or at the very least, it supports brain development, especially if your brain is still developing and growing. I could potentially be speaking pure bullshit. Do not quote me on that. But I believe I read that somewhere, and I could see how that's possible. But no. Like, it's just so simple. The gameplay loop is so simple, and it's random. Like, to me, it's just infinitely replayable. And the thing is, I've gotten to the point now where I can just, when I just get going, like, as of right now, I'm not really focusing on the game at all. I'm more so focusing on the words I'm speaking. But, like, the thing is, like, when I really lock in, like, it helps you achieve, like, a flow state, you know? Like, you just go. But I've played this game so much to the point where now my hands kind of just know what to do. If you want to know my actual play style, like, I'm literally just focusing on the piece that's, like, in the Tetris matrix and the piece I'm holding. That's literally it. I don't actually look at the next pieces, which is probably one of my mistakes. The only time I ever looked at the next pieces is when I used to use openers, but low-key, I find that just sucked the fun out of the game. And that's something I'm going to have to overcome, because literally everybody uses openers now in, like, Tetris competitive, and it's, like, super annoying. Like, I'll admit, openers are super effective, but I can survive openers simply by playing a little quickly. Like, That's the thing, a lot of people that use openers rely on them to rank up, but they don't actually have the skill to maintain that speed. You know what I mean? Like, they're entering in, they know exactly where they're gonna place every piece in that opener. Like, it's basically, like, pre-configured, if you think about it that way. Like, it's preset. So they know where to put everything, and that makes it incredibly fast and incredibly efficient. Like, you can do an opener super quick because you've probably done it 1,000 times. Whereas if you're just playing by the randomness of the pieces, all you're left with is your own speed, you know? You can't rely on, like, preset positions. You have to literally just rely on your actual skill as a Tetris player. And that's where a lot of opener mains fall short, is they just don't have the skills to back it up. Like, they can get a pretty damn good start attack, but past that, a lot of their play is generally pretty weak. And I'm actually locking in. After this little flow state's over, I'm probably gonna turn my phone back on. Or rather, I have it turned on right now. It's just gotta, I just have to log in and reopen YouTube. Ooh, ouch. I didn't think that would fix it, totally. Okay, this is getting a little dicey. Ooh, that is a terrible move. Let's refrain from doing anything of that sort. Perish the thought. Yeah, I'm pretty much out of that flow state now. After you kind of make a little misdrop and you kind of just ruin it, you know, you kind of just exit that flow state. It just triggers randomly every once in a while for me. I can make it happen, but I have to be focusing for an extended period of time. Like, it still takes a while. And generally, I do get mentally tired playing this game as well. So let's try to spell, holy goodness. There we go. Alright, let's see, can we fix it? Hang on, I was logging into my phone. I didn't press that. Okay, well now this is gonna be a little challenging, I feel like we're not exactly equipped to face an issue of this magnitude, but we'll see what we can do with the pieces we're given. Yeah, we'll manage. We'll be fine. That's crazy. All right, let's log back in here. Yap sesh. All right. Cool. All right. Got the yap sesh locked and loaded here. What a comeback. But no, I don't know what I want to do for this channel, you know? And that's what I want to that's what I was planning on figuring out by the end of this whole thing, is what I want. Like, I want to make my game. Definitely want to make my game. But it's just, you know, so here's the problem I have with that, with making my game right now. It's not discipline necessarily. I could be doing more work, admittedly, yeah, sure. I could be doing more work on my game. You could say that. I would totally agree with you. Like, generally, I don't feel great about the lack of substantial progress. But my main issue I have is that I've realized that my game idea is like low-key not good. Like, it's not bad, it's just not fun at the moment. Like, it's just not the type of game that is worth, you know, dropping money on. The thing is, I would love to be able to work full-time as an indie game developer. The issue is, you know, that requires you to actually get money for making your game, which means you have to make a good game. And I've been looking at how to do stuff on Steam. Like, once I think this is just gonna be like a mobile game, what I'm making right now. Like, if I want to continue this further down the line, right? Like, I want to, you know, want to release a game on Steam. You know, what people suggest doing is making a good game, first off, of course, and then doing online, like, demos for your indie game. Like web-based, like in Chrome, which seems like quite an endeavor, you know. That's a whole nother programming language you've got to tackle. But, like, it's just very complicated. It's very disheartening. Admittedly, it is very disheartening to see how complex it is to drop a game on Steam. Or at least to do so successfully, as people suggest. But, like, right now, I'm just getting, like, the main stuff for my game working. Like, the main mechanics. I want to get it playable front to back, you know, beginning to end. Like, that's my main goal at the moment, is getting the game playable, and it's nearly there. Like, that, there's no doubt that it's nearly there. It's just, the question is the gameplay fun? Is it replayable? Like, that's the thing. I want to make a replayable, fun game that people would totally be willing to drop some money on. Because I do like making things, yes, but, I mean, I would like to make things full-time, feel me? I'd love to be able to support myself on just that. That's like a dream come true for me. But it's just, like, very difficult. Very difficult to attain that. That was an interesting move on my part. I will... What? What do you mean? Oh, flow state, flow state. Oh, let me go, let me go. That, okay, well, the thing is, that didn't ruin my flow state, though. That's kind of insane. Interesting. You know, I don't know what I'm really cooking up here, I'm gonna be honest. Cooking straight garbage. Let me cook, but I don't know chemistry. I will say, ever since I got the new keyboard, like, it is just so responsive. It's crazy that a keyboard meant for fast-paced gaming is more responsive than the Office keyboard. Are we serious? Dude, this is, like, groundbreaking discovery here. Yeah, sure, we'll do that. Did not want to do that, but I will. What is happening? Why am I doing this? I don't know, but sometimes I question what my hands are doing, but I kind of just have to not question it, because it usually does work out. Like, my subconscious does, like, all the heavy lifting. Like, low-key, it's usually, like, a sound strategy, but sometimes it's just, like, what in the world? Sometimes it's genuinely a mistake. Feel me? But, like, I had this whole list of things I'd wanted to get done in a year, and I made that list October 23rd of 2025, and just, I don't know, it's just like the more time goes on, the more it just really doesn't feel like I'll be able to get those things done. I still have plenty of time, but the issue is just like, it just seems so out of reach. You know, so out of reach. And it just is, I don't know, I feel very lost right now. Like, I don't know if this is what I want. I don't know what exactly I want to do. Like, the thing is, I want to make a YouTube channel. I want to have a YouTube channel, but what do I want to do exactly? Because it's obviously not what I've been doing. I'm low-key, if I'm being totally honest, not interested in the Minecraft hardcore all that much, like, at all. But it's weird because I found myself, like, you know, kind of toying with other ideas. Like, for example, the whole doing Geometry Dash blind thing, I love that idea. And the thing is, I actually did get things set up to do, like, live streams of me practicing that. Like, again, I didn't press anything. Okay, but no, it's just, like, I genuinely put effort toward that. I genuinely wanted to do that because I thought it would be fun. And I don't know, I guess maybe I just don't like Minecraft all that much. Now that I think about it, like, Minecraft isn't bad. It's certainly a game I enjoyed at one point. Like, during my childhood, Minecraft was, like, huge. Minecraft is very nostalgic, especially the older versions, you know? Especially mobile. The Nether core reactors, when the magma cream name used to be broken. Like, before there were horses, all that stuff, it was huge. Like, I remember all of that stuff. But it's just, I don't enjoy the game anymore, you know? I don't really enjoy Minecraft all that much. Frankly, well, to be fair, the way I've been playing my Minecraft hardcore world is incredibly safe, but incredibly boring. Genuinely so boring. I am bored out of my mind. And one issue I'm also facing is that because the way I'm playing is so boring and so slow, I'm running out of hard drive space. Genuinely. I have over 500 gigs, and a lot of this is also in part due to, like, for some reason I had my bitrate cranked super high, so my file sizes are absolutely, like, enormous. But it's just, like, I'm running out of hard drive space, and, like, I'm having to move files around and all that stuff. And it's just like, what am I doing? It makes me not want to do it. Like, genuinely. It makes me just feel so overwhelmed. Because it's just like, one, I can hardly do anything else on my computer. I probably don't even have, like, 20 gigs left. And it's just like, so what am I going to do once I run out of space again? And if I do run out of space, during a recording, I lose that footage, because I record in MP4. Like, what am I to do? You know, like, it's genuinely so discouraging. And it just feels like it's all just too much. I just don't like it. I just don't like it. It makes me it just makes me not want to do it. It just makes me, like, so much less inclined to actually do what I set out to do. Because it is just in such an abysmal state. You know what I mean? Like, the entire project is in such an abysmal state. And the thing is, despite all of this stuff, right, you know, I've noticed I love to draw, and I'm like, ooh, I should start an art channel on top of everything else I'm already doing. Like, have I gone insane? Like, I have so many unfinished things. I'm developing a game. And, like, the whole Minecraft hardcore thing, I'm not even done beating the game yet. It's like, what am I doing? Why am I plotting all this stuff out? It's just ridiculous. Like, I don't have time for that, you know? And then, but once I get into that mindset, once I'm like, oh, I don't have time for this, I don't have time for that, but like those are the things I really want to do, it just makes this whole thing, this whole YouTube thing not seem very fun. Like, I'm taking the fun out of it for myself. I'm ruining it for myself, and I don't want to do that. Because I used to find enjoyment in this, but lately it just has seemed so obligatory. And I just don't like it. Like, I know I don't have to do any of this, but it just feels like I do. And I don't know if it's because I've just been making promises and like I'm just saying bullshit. I don't know what it is exactly, but this doesn't feel fun. Like, this whole charade just doesn't feel fun. Like, at least not lately. Like, don't get me wrong, I love streaming like this, but the issue is it just doesn't feel like I'm getting anything done when I stream like this. Like, I can work on my game, you know? I can do some programming, then why don't I live stream that? I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing, you know? Again, just lost. I guess, yeah, that's the only way I can describe it. It's just very, very lost. And I just don't understand. I just don't understand how I've gotten to this point. Truly. The thing is, especially like when I don't give myself time to like process things, you know, it just all just feels so out of reach. I just feel so out of touch with like everything going on. Like, I'm out of touch with how I feel, and then I'm wondering why I'm so discouraged or why I can't get anything done, and it just makes me even more stressed, and it's just, I don't know. This wasn't supposed to be a vent sesh more than a yap sesh, but I mean, it's a low-key turning into both. Venting is still yapping, after all. Oh yeah, I got Linux. That was a whole thing. I got Linux. And low-key, getting Linux was like such a pain. I think I just have some really messed up partitions or something. But like, dude, took me so long to get. So okay, first I started off with Parrot OS because I used to mess with VMs when I was like 14, and I would just have like VirtualBox, and I would just be like chilling on my computer, messing with all sorts of Linux distros. I'll be like, dang, this one's cool. Look at this. You know, it was a really simple time for me. But, one of the Linux distros I really got hooked on was Parrot OS, and then I saw they had a home version. I was like, wait, if they have a home version, I could low-key run Parrot OS, like daily drive it, right? And while that is true in theory, it's not so simple. Unfortunately, it is not as simple as it sounds, because there's just so many outdated libraries, and I don't have the Linux knowledge to update said libraries, so it took me about an hour or two to get NVIDIA drivers installed. And the thing is, it made me so mad that I had an NVIDIA graphics card, because I knew for a fact that if I had an AMD graphics card, you know, it would work flawlessly with Linux. And it was just like so annoying, because I had to disable the X server, and I had to install it. Oh my. It was just like so much stuff I didn't know. and then I switched to Linux Mint, which is what I'm running right now. And I literally got those graphics drivers installed in a matter of minutes. Because Linux Mint has its own, like, little, not launcher, but like a little thing that opens up at the start, like a little, kind of like a little, the little I use Linux starter pack type shit, you know what I mean? Like, it gives you all the necessary software, all the cool little built-in things. I looked at graphics drivers, and surprise, surprise, it gave me an up-to-date driver. I didn't even mention that ParaOS, the home version still, had it only, for some reason, because of its outdated libraries, it wasn't wanting to, oh geez, okay, this is interesting. It didn't want to install 32-bit support. And it said that it would up to driver like 550. Up to driver 550. We're almost on like driver 600 now. We're like in like the 590s right now. So like, but anyway, I got Steam working, and yeah, I mean, games ran. Haste ran pretty dang good, actually. It might have been even better than Windows, even with the outdated driver. But like, low-key, it was just such a pain. And then I believe I tried recording something in OBS, and it wouldn't let me. Because of the weird driver thing and it not being able to install 32-bit support, or it was some weird issue. And it made me realize how awful it was to use ParaOS, because it is just, there's no documentation on it. Because nobody uses ParaOS. Like, nobody daily drives the ParaOS home version. Nobody does. Like, and that's why I was getting all these issues, and there was no documentation on it, so I was just like, you know what, no. You know, my boy Mudahar said Linux Mint was peak, and it is peak. It took me a few hours to get the freaking drivers installed on ParaOS on Linux Mint, installed in a matter of minutes. And it just worked. And it literally just worked. It's just like the Windows of Linux, except without the spyware. Without the spyware, without the bloatware. You know what I mean? One thing I will say is I will always use Windows for SteamVR. Because for some reason when I use SteamVR on Linux, and okay, I didn't click that. Very interesting. I've never had this issue before. Anyway, what I was saying was, holy stutter, bro. What I was saying is, I'm going to keep, and okay, whenever I refer to Linux, I'm going to just mean Linux Mint, which is what I'm, you know, the Linux I'm using. The Linux on this computer. I'm always going to use Windows for SteamVR, because for some reason, there's like some weird desync thing going on with SteamVR. So like, whenever I move my head, like, it's wobbly almost. Like, it lags, like, the tracking, like, the positional tracking lags behind. So everything feels, like, wobbly, kind of. Like, jelly. Like, and I'm like, is my computer lagging or something? Like, I was, like, just in SteamVR, but no. Like, just in, like, not even SteamVR home, just the menu. But no, it was just, like, yeah, I don't know, dude. It was just... It was not working well, and the menu was all broken. Like the 3D stereoscopy was so messed up. Like, it was so, like, corrupted. And I had to run it under some compatibility layer, I think. Or, like, it was something in, like, Steam settings. Like, then that did fix it, don't get me wrong. But it only fixed part of it, and I still had the tracking problem that just made it unusable. Like, genuinely, like, unusable. Let's see how many quads, how many tetris is... I forgot, tetris is a trademarked term, so that's... Huh. Anyway. Boom. Boom. Okay, well, now here's where we're gonna run into some trouble. Anyway. Holy, my vision is terrible. Sorry. What I was saying. What was I saying? Not sure. Oh yeah, Linux. Right. I had to go through some weird, like, thing in the Steam settings. We're just gonna... Shing! Like, but yeah, no, like, it still didn't fix the tracking problems I was having, so I will always defer to Windows for anything gaming. Pretty much. Some games run perfectly fine under Linux. Geometry Dash, for example. For some reason in Windows, when I play Geometry Dash, I get weird frame time spikes. Despite the fact that I can get several thousand frames per second. Don't know how I'm, like, what is the struggle here? I'm confused. But you know, it's hard to say. But no, like some games do genuinely run better. Roblox, actually, there's a thing that pretty much modifies the game files, or like it modifies like something in Roblox. There's like a thing in Linux. You can get apparently up to 2x performance. I will not deny the performance uplift is real. I've only played The Forge, so I can't exactly say what the uplift is in other games, but it's noticeably smoother. It is noticeably smoother, and I can't deny that. That's just the truth. What I would like to do is eventually get to the know-how to where I could, like, do a hardware-level VM for Windows. That way I can just strictly do gaming on there. I wouldn't have to dual boot. I could just boot straight into Linux. But, like, because currently I'm dual booting Windows and Linux, which is fine, frankly. I don't mind. It's just, like, it's just one extra little click at the start of my boot. You know, it's not bad. But it's just not optimal, you know. Feels like it's not as privacy driven as it could be. It could have a little bit of, you know, a little better privacy. Which is the ultimate goal here, because I just don't want to be fucking spied on, you know, 24/7 by the Microsoft overlords that literally gave away, I believe it's BitLocker keys to they literally sold everyone. They sold the FBI the rights to pretty much break into anybody's computer, which is just really fun. And the thing is, the setting to share your BitLocker key with Microsoft was on by default, so, like, that's real nice, you know. It's just, like, it's great that, you know, a government agency just has a back door into, like, most people's computers now. Like, isn't that just so great? Isn't that what we needed? Just mass surveillance, like, we're literally becoming a surveillance state. There's no denying it. If you're denying it, you're flat out wrong and you're naive. The thing is, it benefits the government to become a surveillance state, and they're not going to do anything that doesn't benefit them, mind you. And they certainly don't have our best interests in mind. Like, that is the utmost truth. If you think the government cares about anything other than itself, that is just... Dude, just take a look at the Epstein file situation and tell me they still care. Like, come on. Come on, dude. There is nothing we could persecute them on, guys. That's why we haven't been investigating it since then. Like, are we deadass? Actually, there are no Epstein files. Dude, I'm gonna get assassinated now. I'm gonna get assassinated. Just know that I'm not suicidal and I'm actually really loving life right now. Just to let y'all know, if I do go missing and if I stop posting, that's why. I'm just flat out dead. And it will get covered up. Well, maybe not. Considering how well it went for them this time around. Wouldn't be the first failed cover-up in our government's history. History lesson for you. You know what, I kind of want to go through our government's failed cover-ups at some point. Honestly, what I really want to do, was something I could genuinely make content about and be interested in, is just straight up yap sessions, or maybe like philosophical stuff, because that's the stuff I'm interested in, you know? Like, I genuinely have nobody to really talk about that stuff with, and it's something I like to talk about and I like to ponder pretty often. A lot of people don't like to because it just takes more intensive thinking. And it's just so sad. Like, a lot of people don't ponder this stuff, and, like, they should, because it's so interesting. I mean, I understand, it's just not their interest. Like, that's totally fine. And I'm not judging. It's just, like, I have no one to talk about it with, and it's kind of sad. You know? Like, I would low-key love Love, love, love. What I like, I've already thought about it. I have stutter. Calm down. Think before you move your tongue. Okay, holy shit. Anyway. I've already thought about it. Like, I could do like a Minecraft, like, Steam VR type deal, where, like, a Vivecraft replay mod type thing, where it's like the camera's at a fixed angle, or maybe like there's multiple angles or whatever, but the premise is I'm sitting there waving my arms around and just talking about stuff. Kind of like how they do with the VR chat avatars. You know? You know what I mean? Kind of like that. Minecraft VTuber. I'd be a Minecraft VTuber, guys. It'd be insane. Steve talks to you about Marxism. That is insane. That's insane work. Holy, whoa, flow state there for a sec. Right at the end there. Holy, whoa. What is happening? Why am I popping off? Okay, I am not popping off. We are actually imploding in. Could have been a teaspoon. Would have been efficient. But that would have messed up the rest of my stack. Would have messed up the rest of my stack. Maybe stacked all the way up, but I still got no attack. What the fuck is this goofy freestyle? Playing Tetris. My shit stacked sky high. I met your mother, she said that I'm a nice guy. Hang on. Holy, bro. Maybe rapping is the key, guys. Maybe freestyling is the key to success in Tetris. I think I've found the hack. The 5 minutes crafts to Tetrio S rank. X rank. Is that the highest rank? Is it X rank or U rank or something? Like it's something alien looking. Holy crap, dude. What is happening to me right now? I'm evolving. You are witnessing it, like the evolution. Holy goodness gracious. Why am I popping off? He's whipping his cock out. Like, this is actually kind of insane. What is happening? I don't know, but I mean, I'm not gonna question it, because that will ruin it. Okay. Whew. Oh. Hello everyone, this is your daily dose of internet. I love just whipping that shit out sometimes. Wait, what? Pause. You all know what I meant. Don't freaking clip that out of context. You better not. I'm just clip farming. Oh. This is just nasty. Okay, this is just disgusting, and I mean that in a bad way this time. Ooh, narrowly escaped death. The low continuum flow state, guys. Word. I just shot and killed a bird. No, that's just insensitive. I'm not gonna say that shit. That's insane. I was about to spit some bars though. Just know that. Just know that the bars were about to be absolutely insane. Dang, my keyboard sounds nice, bro. At least I don't have to listen to the office keyboard anymore. You see, I actually bought this for my viewers. Because I just care so much. It's not that I don't care, it's just insinuating that that's the reason would be disingenuous. And I was making fun of the fact that it would be disingenuous. Honestly though, like, I have to pee, man. Man, I wish it was on Windows right now, because I still have my video file for my Stream Deck that I could have used, because it was literally for going piss. It was amazing. It was beautiful, and I don't have it anymore. I mean, I'm not about to restart the stream and go to Windows. That would be stupid. But I should probably pour more effort into making stuff like that.
I have a snack for you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, is Bear inside? Yes. Oh my gosh, I thought I was like having a freaking episode, thinking I let him out. Good. Well, thank you. Dude, I just got food. I'm about to munch. I'm freaking... How'd she know I was hungry? I don't know. That was my cousin. I look, you have to pee though. I still have to pee. It's very distracting that I have to pee. You ever just wish you didn't have to pee? And like, there's just nothing you can do about it? Because like, you live 12 miles from a toilet. Like, dude, how am I this unfunny? Genuinely. I've got my moments, but a lot of the time I'm just not humorous. I try to be, though. I still try. Like, it would almost be better if I didn't, though. Genuinely. It would almost be better if I didn't. That's the thing. Dang, bro. Low-key, this stack is messed up. I may as well just forfeit that. Oh, I wish I could chat. Oh well, I will be right back. We'll be right back. For real, on jits. Never mind. I'll just piss my pants. Alright, well, turns out the bathroom's taken, guys. What's a man to do besides go back to doing what he was doing? Let's get it. Whew. Holy crap, dude. What is happening? Why am I popping off, bro? Nah, I need to rewatch that on stream, dude. That series of inputs was actually so fast. Nah, there's just no way. Hang on. Are we serious? I need to watch that back. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. That was nuts. Dang. Yeah, that's insane, dude. I was going freaking X Games mode there. That was insane. I don't even care that I just topped out. Wait, hang on, that could be a bar. Hang on, give me a sec. Let me cook something up. Ooh, terrible. Why did I do that? Disgusting. Alright. You know what I've never understood? Like, genuinely, you know what I've never understood? Why it's, like, offensive to say something is generally autistic. Like, okay, to be fair, if you go up to someone and say you're autistic, like, it is considered an insult, but not because being autistic is bad, but because, I don't know, that's a complicated thing to discuss, actually. But, like, generally, it's more about the intent rather than the actual meaning of the words. Because if you're intending to belittle someone, then obviously what you're saying, no matter what you say, is offensive. Even if the thing you're saying generally doesn't insinuate anything terribly bad, you know? Like, being autistic ain't a bad thing. I don't even know how I got to this topic. I'm just like, my mind is just kind of going off, I guess. But, like, being autistic is not bad. It's not an inherently, it can be negative. Like, there are cases where, like, people have very severe autism. Like, that is, and it is kind of crippling, in a sense. But, like, being autistic in general, like, is not bad. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make you less. You know, dude, my eyesight is so bad. Like, my eyes are so unfocused. Even, like, my phone, sometimes that 1 looks like a 2. When, that's a low-key wishful thinking. Like, I'm just trying to manifest it, guys. It did say 2 for a while, and I know I'm not hallucinating that. Somebody was watching. Very strange. But no. I don't even care if I'm not live streaming to anybody. I just love yapping. I just love, like, the thing is, I will never be able to yap to another person in person. There's just no way. It's just not possible. I suck at conversation. But, like, the thing is, I don't know. It's just, you know, hang on. No, let's think about that for a sec. Hang on. I suck at conversation. Like, I can't carry a conversation in person, right? But, you know what I mean? But, it's like, I can't carry a conversation, but I can yap for hours on stream. So what's going on here? Is it the sense of being alone by myself? That could be it. I will say I do a lot better when I'm alone and by myself. Like, there is no doubt about that. Like, no doubt at all. Generally, I do quite well, and I don't really feel lonely. Despite being single, I will admit it hits me at times. Sometimes I'm lonely. I miss her every once in a while, you know. But frankly, I'm doing really well for myself. Low-key. And I don't mind being alone. Generally, I am actually. I don't know. This is gonna be some, like, personal stuff. I'm not gonna get into anything too crazy here, but, like, just a general experience for me. General experience, nothing specific. But, like, okay, so before I was ever in my first relationship, I thought, you know, I say first, it's the only relationship I've been in, but it also happens to be my first, so it's still an accurate statement. But, like, generally speaking, I was 16, I remember. I had never had a girlfriend, and I was just kind of like, you know, low-key, maybe just being alone's the strat. But, like, at, like, around 16, I started to get really lonely. Like, really lonely. And I just didn't really understand it. And it was just like, whoa, I'm, like, depressed as shit, dude. Like, I low-key hate this. Until I eventually got my first girlfriend at 17 years old, and I understood what all the hype was about. And I was just like, wow, this is amazing. And then things went a little sour, and long story short, I realized a lot of the issues I had with myself. I thought I was ready for a relationship. The thing is, I'd gotten a couple offers, and I refused them because I thought I just wasn't really... Well, I wasn't looking for anything at the time anyway, but it was just like, I didn't feel like I was mature enough. I didn't feel like I was ready for, like, a real relationship. So I'm like a date to marry kind of guy, you know? So it's just all like, you know, I gotta find the one, and, you know, and, like, that's quite a hefty decision. And, like, if I'm unsure even in the slightest, then they probably ain't the one, you feel me? So that's pretty much why I was just single for the first 17 years of my life. That is what it was, and that's okay. And honestly, up until I was 16, it was totally fine. What I will say, though, is things went sour, and I have worked on myself, and the thing is, I realize, so, like, you know how when I was single, when I was, like, 16, I was getting super lonely, right? Well, now I'm single, I'm 19, I'm fresh, like, I mean, dude, I went through a breakup. I mean, that shit hurts. Like, breakups are terrible. You know, I was scared of getting hurt from the very start, and I got hurt. And, like, it hurts. It hurts. It gets the worst, some of the worst pain I've ever felt, emotionally. Like, it's up there with my dog dying. Like, no joke. Breakups are severe, man. I didn't realize just how absolutely insane love can drive you. It is genuinely just crazy, the difference it makes. Like, it's just pure insanity, I swear to you. At least that is for me. It drives me crazy. Like, genuinely crazy. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. You know what I mean? But, like, honestly, the reason why I felt lonely is because I myself was not enough. That's what I learned. I, at the time, was inadequate. I learned that. I was inadequate. I didn't like who I was. I didn't feel like I was enough. I wanted a reason to be more. Because I just couldn't push myself to be more by myself. And I realize that now, but it took going through that breakup to realize that about myself. So, like, that pain was definitely necessary. Oh, oh. Oh. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. No way. Alright, what am I doing? Alright. I was going off, and then I wasn't. I hate energy drinks. Did I tell you? I already said that, but still. Dude, I'm so glad I'm, like, not really on them anymore. I used to drink, like, 2 or 3 of these things a day. I probably wouldn't have lived to see 35, dude. I kid you not. And, like, now my heart actually feels better for the most part. I mean, I'm not in the best shape. It's winter. It's not easy to get out. I don't have a treadmill. I'm also lazy, so there's that. The only exercise I have is playing freaking Beat Saber, dude. And I haven't even been doing much of that lately. You know, I've been programming, like, ooh, I'm burning all these calories typing on my keyboard. I'm like, wow. And it's not even just about calorie burn, it's about getting cardio in. Like, my heart's just not healthy. It's not to the point where it should be, you know? Especially for a guy my age. I should be in the best shape of my life, and I'm not. And that needs to change this summer, like, seriously. Like, I should be in the absolute peak shape that, like, best shape I've ever been in. There's no doubt about that. I'm supposed to be, you know? That's what it means to be young. To be young is not to do stupid things, it is to have youthful energy, and to use that youthful energy to better yourself, to grow. You know, it's not just to be dumb. That's not what being young is. Anybody that says that's the case only says that's the case because that's how they spent their youth, and they regret it. Alright? I'm just gonna be for real. Just gonna throw that little tidbit out there. Like, that is most certainly the case. Like, seriously. Like, you know, your youth can kind of go two ways. You can either, well, three ways, I suppose. You can either just do all the dumb shit, get it all out of the way, right, and then regret barely remembering your youth because you were out partying all the time. You can do that, or you can kind of let it go idly by and just not do anything necessarily too bad for you, but just kind of just, you know, nothing really happened, it wasn't eventful. Or you can better yourself. You can better yourself, grow your skill set, learn information, leads to a lot more fulfillment that way. Just gonna throw that out there as well. And just in general, I believe that'll make you happy. I recommend doing that. I'm just gonna be honest. It's what I did until I kind of got into my relationship. I don't know. My relationship kind of threw me for a loop, you know? Threw me for a loop. But all in all, I'm better because of it, so there's not really any need to ponder the rest of it. It was an interesting time, though. Certainly. You know, I've realized a lot of things. I'm a Christian man now, you know? Which is kind of crazy. It's not that I never stopped believing in God, it's just I value virtues incredibly high now. Like, that is on my radar now, you know? Like, it's a key factor in who I choose now. And I've realized that I could only trust, like, I have trust issues, right? Like, I could only trust somebody that lives up to my standards. Like, and it's a pretty high standard. It's the standard I hold myself to, and the standard I strive to achieve every single day. And if nobody meets that standard, I'm not going to be able to trust them. You know? Like, I'm looking for somebody truly virtuous, you know? As I am trying to be that, and I will seek out that virtuousness, if that's a word. I'm going to seek out someone of that same righteous nature. Someone, like, truly righteous, not someone who just, like, says it, I guess. If I'm making any sense whatsoever. You know what you know what I mean? Like, just somebody who's actually good. Somebody who's been good. Somebody good. You know, we all make mistakes, yes, but somebody generally who's been good. Somebody who takes their virtues very seriously. Someone who knows how to take care of themselves. Just, which, like, sounds like a lot, but, like, low-key, it really isn't. It shouldn't be. But it is incredibly rare. That's the issue. And I've kind of realized that, you know what? I'm gonna let God take the wheel. And if I don't find anybody that meets those standards, then I'm not meant to be with somebody. And the thing is, I used to be lonely. But now, bettering myself every day. Like, every day I am a little better than I was. And the thing is, I'm okay with being by myself now. Like, I'm okay with it. Even after the heartbreak of my breakup, I've realized that if there's not a woman out there for me, there's not a woman out there for me, and that's okay. That's completely fine as long as I live a virtuous life. As long as I do as God says. Generally, that's good. Because you know what the heavenly virtues amount to, basically? Take care of yourself and do good things. Like, that's all it is. You don't even have to be a Christian to follow heavenly virtues. Those are, like, the virtues more so have to do with you than they do with just God. Like, it's about, just pretty much just doing responsible things. That's literally all it is. Like, I've realized just how utterly simple it is. Like, it's literally just to do good things, stay away from bad things, stay away from bad people, try to spread positivity. Like, are you kidding me? And people are against this why? People are against this why? You know? It's like, literally, it's such a simple message. It is such a simple message. And it's not that people don't understand it, they reject it on the basis that it's Christian, I guess. Like, the thing is, like, when you really think about it, right? Like, people don't want to bow down to some god. Okay, but, like, hypothetically, if we really think about it, if everybody did do what the Bible said, like, not even just for God, but, like, just to be a good person. Like, if everybody did what the Bible said, the world would literally be a better place. And that's, like, I've been thinking about that lately, and it's just like, yeah, it's really kind of true. The Bible is literally just like, treat yourself well, live in virtue, not in sin, and, like, it just so happens that sinful things generally make us feel bad. They are addictive, but they generally make us feel very bad. Because we know we're not doing the right thing. And, like, a lot of them have to do with, like, physicality. Like, how you are doing physically. Like, gluttony, for example, very deadly sin. Oh, basically, consuming more than you need to. Consuming in excess. Gluttony. And you know what that causes? Obesity. You know how it makes you feel? Sick. You know what I mean? Greed. You know what greed will do? You know what greed is? Wanting more and more and more. And you know how it leaves you? Empty inside. It leaves you empty inside. Huh, weird. Isn't that strange? Isn't that just strange? I think that's just crazy, huh? Isn't that just, like, unexpected? Like, want? You know? Like, envy. You know how envy feels you? Like, feels you? What? You know how envy leaves you feeling? Like, inadequate. Not only inadequate, but it makes you feel like you have nothing. Whereas if you follow the heavenly virtues, you know what the benefit of being temperate is? Being calm. You will be calm, and you will make the rational choice. You will do what's good for you. Same with being prudent, you know? You will do what's good for you. And charitable. If everybody was more charitable, you know what that would mean? You know what that would mean? There would be enough for everybody. There would be enough for everybody. Because there is enough for everybody. But thanks to a few greedy people, there isn't. Because they have all of it. You know what I mean? It's just so messed up. And I'm not talking about that fake charity chauvinist BS. I'm talking actual charity. Charity that you don't hold over people's heads. Just genuinely being kind. Giving to those that need it. Like, seriously. You don't need to... It's not for showmanship. It's because you know how it is to struggle in life. That's the reason you should be giving. Not because you want to look good or feel good about yourself. though feeling good about yourself for doing something good is not a bad thing. It's not inherently selfish either. Because, you know, joy shared is joy multiplied. Like, I saw a YouTube comment that really described it perfectly. It was, you know, you do a good thing for somebody and you feel good about it, that's just two people being happy because of one person's actions. And, like, the more the merrier, you know? Joy shared is joy multiplied. That's just how it is, you know? The thing is, a lot of people say that all quote-unquote selfless actions have some selfish center to them, and it's not true. There are many times where I've helped somebody out, and it generally sucked, actually. Like, no benefit to me at all. Like, but the fact is, I know exactly what they're going through because I've been there myself, and I don't want that for anybody else. And if I can help, which I could, then yeah, that's being charitable. Now, obviously, don't take charity too far. Charity has to be held, you know, it has to be, I don't know how to seduce. Okay, we're just gonna, I don't know how to describe it. You have to, see, all the virtues have to be applied at once, and they all have to be held, they all have to be, you know, like, there's a checks and balances system to it, and they all have to pass through temperance, which is to say balance. You have to be balanced. You cannot take a virtue too far or you will undo yourself. Genuinely. For example, take charity too far, you'll keep giving to others until you yourself have nothing, which goes against the virtue of temperance. Like, you're literally, you may feel like you're doing the right thing, but the truth is you're breaking a virtue. You're still breaking a virtue by doing so. You're taking it too far. Doing yourself a disservice is not, you know, virtuous. That is not an inherently virtuous action, even if you're helping others, which is a good thing, but the fact is, you are also doing a bad thing by doing yourself a disservice, because you have to realize you can help your fellow man, and that's totally fine, but you yourself are also made in God's image. You yourself deserve to be happy. And besides, you need to be prudent. Am I hearing something? No, I guess not. I swear I was hearing like a dinging. Anyway, you have to be prudent. You have to understand. You have to think before you actually do. And basically, if there's any foreseeable harm, you need to avoid it. Because if you know you can't afford to give, then don't give. You have to make sure you have what you need first. You see, that's the thing. Charity is about giving away your excess, not about just giving. You can only give if you can afford to give. Otherwise, you're really just bringing yourself down. Like, you need to serve yourself as well, as much as anybody else. Like, seriously. Like, I know somebody with this problem, and they just don't seem to understand. I haven't brought it up with them directly, and I feel like if it ever gets to that point again, I probably should. Because I feel like it might change their mind. You know what I mean? It's just a thought, though. I've really been looking into all these virtues and stuff and how to abide by them. And I need to get into reading the Bible more as well. Because I don't really do enough of that. I don't really do much of that at all. And I want to, frankly. But I've learned to have a lot more faith in God. I've learned to have a lot more faith in God. You know? And I don't judge those that don't believe in God. Like, because the thing is, that's not right of me. Because, well, I used to be incredibly judgmental, alright? Not just in Christianity. I never really judged for that. But, like, I used to be a very judgmental person. I used to be a very egoistic person, very egotistical. I used to have like a really big head. Like, I let my God-given talent get to my head, and I became extremely prideful. This was when I was a bit younger, but generally, still, it's a transformation I had to go through. There was, it was regarding, like, my upbringing, and, like, how I was, like, pretty much constantly told, oh my gosh, you're so smart, look at you go! Like, and it was just never kept in check at all. Like, I never heard anything else, because, like, when you're that young, school is pretty much all you've got, School is the intelligence benchmark, and I just so happened to be really good at school. Like, and even I recognized at the time that, yeah, I was different. Like, I don't know, I was always, like, isolated, kind of. Like, I would always find myself alone. Even, especially in, like, kindergarten and stuff, like, I recognized that I was, like, alone. I was apart from everybody else. Like, I was always the fastest and the best at math. I was always the one that aced all the freaking spelling quizzes or whatever they would do. I remembered the spelling tests because every time you aced it, or I think you got a 90% or above, they gave you a pack of Smarties, which was really good incentive because that's basically like cocaine for a child, So, it was pretty cool. That's kind of part of the reason I like Smarties now, is because I had them so much as a kid. And they still hold up. I mean, those things are gas, I can't even deny. I never tried snorting them like some people have, though. I hear it hurts. Because, like, they're really big chunks, even when you grind it up. Like, it's not like a fine powder or anything like that. What am I talking about, bro? Anyway, but yeah, so I don't know. Like, that caused me to, like, just have this huge ego. And the worst part is, like, it was completely, not justified, but, like, the evidence backed me up in my pride. And when it didn't, I worked harder to make sure it did. Like, I wanted to believe because I thought I was the best. And I was. Like, like, all that mattered to me at that point was school. Because it's like, yeah, it was all that I was, because I was always told I was so smart. And what caused that praise was school. So I was like, and like I just got hooked on that praise. Like, school was all that I was. Like, I was a student. I was like a super smart student. That's all I was to myself. That's all I saw myself as. It's all I cared about being. And it made me a braggart. Incredibly so. I am genuinely ashamed of the things that I had said to people. Like, I was such an egotistical asshole. I thought I was above everyone. Like, it was bad. Like, I was not a good person. And this was like, I was young too. I was like, not even like, I don't know. I was like maybe like 11 at the time, like 10 or 11. Like, I was just, and I was really intelligent for my age. Like, I was in the advanced math, I was like getting like, and I was not only in the advanced math, but like I would get my assignments done super fast. Everybody's like, you're already done. I'm like, yeah, you know how it is. Trying to play it off. Not, because the thing is, at some point I did recognize that, wow, I'm being an absolute fucking asshole. Wow, I'm just like a terrible person, But like, by then it was just kind of like, I was trying to just be chill at some point. Like, I was just, and the thing is, I was popular too. Like, I actually used to be popular. I don't know how. I do not know how. But like, I was like, because when I switched schools, I was like the quietest kid ever. I was so unfunny. But like, I don't know, when I was like there, because the thing is, everybody still knows who I am. But like, I used to actually be popular. Like, I used to be like funny. Like, Whole class would be laughing type shit. Like, I used to be funny, and I don't know what happened. Like, I totally lost my touch when I moved schools. Like, but I had such confidence in myself. Like, the confidence that I had built up to that point just carried me socially. Like, I was socially, like, I was untouchable at that point. And then I think switching schools, like, genuinely shook me. Shook that confidence because I realized I'd have to start over. And the thing is, a lot of things I said were funny because they knew who was saying them. They knew me. You know, they already knew this guy. Like, this is a funny guy. And if somebody already thinks that you're a funny guy, it's a lot easier to get them to laugh. Because you're funny. You're generally funny. A little cringy at times, yes, but, you know, back then, that concept was nothing. Back then, that just wasn't a concept to a lot of people. They didn't care about that stuff. They weren't as judgmental. Which makes being popular really easy. You know what I mean? What am I doing here? Whoa. Come on now. But no. Like, that was, like, the really bad thing. Was, like, just how completely, like, unchecked I went. I went completely unchecked. And then I went to the new school. Once everybody started to get to know me, you know, people started talking to me more, you know, it was just like, everybody knew me, but like, I had like a small circle, but everybody knew who I was. Like, if somebody pointed to that person and said, oh yeah, that's me, that's him, you know, like, that's insert name here, you know, like, dude, everybody knows my name. It's Landon, alright, that's my name. Yeah, that's Landon, you know, like, yeah, we know him. I mean, we don't really talk to him too much, but, like, he's kind of quiet, but, like, you know, he's alright, I guess. A little quiet, you know, a little weird, but, like, he's chill. He's smart, and that's the thing. Even when I switched schools, it's what I was known for, being smart, being fast with my work, being in the advanced math. It never changed, and it was just the constant that just drove me, you know? Like, I never lost that. Out of the one thing I still had when I switched schools, it was my intelligence, and I clung to that so desperately. Because it was like switching schools, for me, like, I've switched schools so many times. We've moved so often, and, like, I guess, you know, I just had, like, an absolute breakthrough moment, guys. I just huffed I just huffed DMT thrice, guys. But no, like, hang on. Oh, I was trying something there. I think the reason why I clung to my intelligence so much was because we were always moving, and it was the only constant that I had in my life. You know, I never actually take the time to think about these things, but now that I'm thinking about them, I am realizing some stuff here. Definitely. Yeah, I think I clung to my intelligence so much because, I think I've moved a total of, like, 8 or 9 times in my life. Like, we moved a lot. Like, a lot. I think I've been into, like, 4 or 5 different schools. And it wasn't even, like, a behavioral thing. Like, generally, I was well behaved. Well, except when I was being a little fucking asshole. But, like, other than that, like, I was well behaved for the most part. I knew manners for the most part. I missed a lot of social cues, and I didn't get along with children. I believe I was held back in 2nd grade. I believe that's why they held me back in, like, 2nd grade, is because socially, I was just so fucking inept. And I'm not kidding. Like, I'm not kidding. I was held back in 2nd grade. I was just socially inept. Like, I did not really get along with the other kids. I don't know if I was the one picking fights or if I was the one getting picked on. I genuinely forget. I don't really remember. All I remember is that we didn't get along. It's not that I felt hatred toward them or anything like that. It's just because I know I didn't. We just didn't really click. We just didn't get along, you know? That's just kind of how it was. And I recognized that. It was just whatever. And honestly, I will say I was offered the choice to skip a couple grades. I think when I was in 5th grade, they were asking if they, because like obviously I was getting straight A's. That school had a really easy curriculum, to be fair. Like when I switched schools, the curriculum was a lot harder. I was still getting A's, obviously, but it was just like, it was a step up, I will say. Like, it was a little more engaging. It was a little more engaging than the last school's curriculum. Like, I don't know, the last school's curriculum, I think, was purposefully easy to inflate their reported grades to the state. I think that's exactly what it was, but like, that curriculum was so much easier, dude. Like, for no reason. For absolutely no reason. Like, genuinely. That curriculum was just straight up nonsense. But no, so... What was I saying? That curriculum was easier. Oh yeah, they offered to bump me up to 7th grade, like, math. And I think it was 2 classes, or... Yeah, I think it was like... No, it might have just been straight up bump me up grade level-wise. And then one thing, because I obviously denied. I didn't accept it. But the reason why I denied it, I find really odd. I find interesting, to say the least. It's because when I thought about it, because like I would be in my brother's class, right? You know, I thought about it. Little 5th grader me was really kind of pondering it, because it was like a ton of pressure at the time. It was really upsetting me. It felt like so much pressure. Like, that's a crazy decision to make for, you know, being in 5th grade. Because it's like, I knew the weight of that choice. Like, I knew that could seriously affect my future. And I denied it because I felt that I would not fit in that class. I felt intimidated because those are big kids, right? And I really just didn't want to do that. Not to mention, I had friends. I was super popular in my class. And they even said, like, yeah, I'd be sitting down in the big kids' classrooms. And, like, I was just like, I had the awareness to know that they would judge me. Or maybe even, like, resent me to an extent. Because, like, I'm so young. Like, I would be 2 years younger than all of them. Like, I was, like, a little kid. Like, think about the difference between a 5th grader and a 7th grader. That's what the difference would have been. And I was just so overwhelmed by that, by the idea of that I said no pretty quickly. Like, I was tearing up and shit. I was just like, it was genuinely, like, they were like, hey, don't get upset. It's alright. It's alright. And I ended up saying no. And I don't regret it. Not at all. I think it was the right choice. To be fair, if I had said yes, and then I decided to graduate a year early on top of that, could you imagine graduating high school at, like, 16 is insane, dude. Or it would have been, like, 15 or 16. It would have been absolutely ludicrous. And the thing is, I know I could have. And I almost, like, as a hypothetical, it's super interesting to, like, think about. Because, like, what if I did, bro? Holy, like, that'd be insane. And mentally, again, I know I could have. But I was just so, like, socially overwhelmed by the idea that I genuinely said no, and I'm glad I did, because I feel like I would be a different person. I feel like I would be, like, on edge a lot more. I would feel a lot more socially unsafe. Not that I don't already feel that way. Like, I don't trust people very easily, and it's hard for me to let my guard down, no doubt. But I will say, I could only imagine how much worse that issue would be if I had decided to graduate those couple years early on top of what I did. Like, genuinely, I just think it would have affected me very negatively. I'd become like a robot. You feel me? It would have been bad. I didn't, you know, that still worked out, but I was about to press that button, and what is happening? What are we plotting? What are we scheming here? This some new tech I don't know about? That worked pretty well, actually. I did not plan for that. And half of the cool saves I do, I genuinely don't plan for. Like my hands just kind of move and do their own thing, and I'm just like, hey, that's cool. It actually worked. It worked out. Awesome. Like, obviously, I know my subconscious is making actual calculations, because it's not a coincidence. I don't just get that lucky this consistently, obviously. But, I don't know. It's still cool. Kind of. I still have to pee. I just realized that. I, like, low-key still have to pee, so I'll be right back. Guess we're back. Alright, skibbities. Alright. So, I've been thinking, sometimes it takes a good piss to really just get you thinking, Thinking about what you might be asking. Honestly, just thinking, low-key. But, I don't know. Right, back to the main focus for tonight was what I wanted to do with this channel. It's almost 3 in the morning. Holy! Yeah, I cannot make this a habit. I'm trying to fix my acne problem, and staying up late, drinking energy drinks is not going to help it. So, I'll need to go to sleep soon, but who knows when I'll actually be able to fall asleep. One thing I am going to make sure I stay on top of is my sleep schedule, so I'm probably going to feel like shit tomorrow, because I'm still waking up early. I need to hold myself to that. That way, I'm far less likely to do this again, but what do I want to do? Genuinely, I just want to give myself some time to think about that. What do I want to do? With this channel, specifically, of course. What do I want to do with this channel? What is fun to me? What seems engaging? What's something I would genuinely sit down and edit, right? What video? Obviously, my game dev channel is totally covered, because all that has to be is just me making my game and making a short little video on it, on the progress I've made every week or two, right now I've kind of got this bi-weekly schedule going on. I mean, it's alright. I wish it was better, but that's just what it is right now. But anyway, I guess, right, 'cause what kind of I've been on a little bit of a Geometry Dash kick, but like honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I want to play video games, right? But like low key, I just don't find video games enjoyable for the most part, except for like Tetris. You know, like Tetris is like genuinely the only actual video game I enjoy. I don't enjoy playing Minecraft. I don't enjoy playing Roblox. I enjoy Geometry Dash a little, but not that much. And the thing is, I can't, like, not very many people watch Tetris. You know, it doesn't have a huge community compared to some of these other games. But not just that, I don't want to just play Tetris on my channel, you know? Like, that's not what I want. I just don't know what to do. I like talking. I like speaking my mind. I like expressing myself. So, I guess what's the most effective way for me to express myself? I mean, I've been practicing drawing, but I don't think that really fits the theme of this channel. I've been contemplating making a separate art channel, but again, with all the other stuff that's really going on, not a good idea. Like, it would just be too much for me. It's too many different things to, you know... It's like a waiter walking with like a giant like stack of plates type of deal. You know what I mean? I know it's a bit of a cartoonish visualization, but like, you know what I mean. So like, what do I want this channel to actually be? Because like, obviously I've got the game dev channel figured out, and I'll just keep continuing with that routine at least for a while. I'll keep, you know, developing my editing style, my editing skills, my humor. It's just like, that's fine. But what about this channel? Because this channel gets no attention. You know, this channel doesn't get any attention, like at all, compared to that. And the thing is, I've been so wrapped up in that. Like, that's kind of one of the issues I have with my mind. It's that once I find something I actually get dopamine from doing, I just don't ever want to stop doing that. And I don't want to focus on anything else other than that, because then I'll always be thinking about how, oh, you know, I could be doing that instead, you know? Because I actually feel productive when I do that. Like, when I just play video games, I don't feel productive at all, but when I make my game, I feel super productive. You know, it makes me feel good. I can actually... It's weird, because it's like, the more productive I feel throughout the day, the easier I sleep. Like, I sleep better. Like, genuinely, I sleep faster. I get to sleep faster. Like, it's genuinely better for me. And I just don't... I don't know what to do, you know? It's like, what else do I really want to do? Like, vlogs? Like, just regular vlogs? Maybe. I don't live in a particularly interesting area. Nothing particularly interesting is happening in my life. Like, and I already have a digital journal that I'm doing for myself and my family, and it's to be like, when I die, it's probably gonna like get released. You feel me? Like, I've already got that going. You know, it's just like, what do I want to do? And I don't know. Cool. I like the particles. But, so, I guess, the thing is, again, I haven't been sure of what I want to do. The only thing I've really been sure of is bettering myself, and that's all I've been focused on. My sleep schedule lately has been absolutely pristine. Like, I've been waking up early, and I've been pushing that time I wake up further and further back. You know, I've been taking cold showers. I've removed most of like the sugar from my diet. You know, I've been getting more exercise. I mean, generally speaking, I've been doing well for myself. And because that's all I really know that I want to do, it's all I've really been focusing on. And I've been just so laser focused on that because I know the second I falter, it's kind of all just gonna fall apart, you know? And it's incredibly stressful to feel that way, because I don't want to feel like everything's falling apart, you know? I don't want to feel that way. But I have such a desire to be the best version of myself, right? Like such an innate desire to improve constantly. But I just don't ever feel like I'm doing enough. I never feel like I'm doing enough, no matter what I do. And that is one of the problems with being told you are just so smart all the time, constantly when you're younger, and then it just sticks with you. Yeah, sure, I'm not an egotistical little bitch anymore, but now I'm just really hard on myself, constantly. Because the thing is, I know, again, as I said, I hold the firm belief that I can learn anything and do literally anything. And I still believe that. I have the intelligence for it, and I know I do. It's all about, the thing is, I have the ability to do anything. But I don't have the time to do everything. So what am I supposed to do? You know? And the thing is, I want to do everything, but I can't. And I know I can't. And I know I can't, but it's just like, I don't know what is going on. I don't know why I'm like holding myself to an impossible standard. Because it's genuinely not possible. I feel like if I'm not doing anything and everything, then I'm not living up to my potential. Because again, I've been told I can literally do anything. And it just feels like no matter what I do, I'm not living up to my potential. And that is just what I've been so focused on for no reason. Like, it's all I can think about these days. Is just living up to my potential, not wasting the gift I was given, not wasting it, do not waste it. Do not let this go. Do not take this for granted. You owe it to yourself. You know? But I'm tired. But I am really tired, guys. Sometimes I don't want to push myself. You know? And I know I'm not the only one going through something like this. There are plenty of people out there with the same problem as me. It might be due to different circumstance, but same problem. They don't want to push themselves anymore. I don't want to push myself anymore. Sometimes I just don't want to move at all. Sometimes I don't feel like improving. But the issue is, at this point in time, if I'm not improving, then I feel like I'm wasting time, and it makes it impossible to relax. And I know exactly where it comes from now that I think about it. It comes from a feeling of inadequacy. I don't feel like I'm enough, you know, as I am currently. I don't feel like I'm enough. I'm not the person I could be. You know, I could be so much greater than I am now. And I know that's true. But will I ever drop that belief, even if I become such a great version of myself? I don't think I will. And the issue is I'm constantly chasing. And chasing and chasing. But it will never be enough. Yeah, it will never amount to anything substantial. It will always be me just chasing after nothing. Chasing after this perfectionist, idealistic version of myself that doesn't exist and will never exist. Because it's not possible. Nobody's perfect. Nobody can be. There's not enough time in the world, and even if there was, nobody could be perfect. No. And despite that, I don't It's not even out of pride anymore. It's just, I don't want to waste what I was given. Because I know I'm gifted, and I know I don't want to waste it, you know? I don't want to waste it. Because I've been made out to be someone so special, and it feels like if I fail, or if I'm subpar, then I'll have let everyone down, including myself. That's really deep, actually. You know, the thing is, when I get to yapping like this, I realize stuff that I never knew before. The words just spill out of my mouth, but I knew it the whole time. I just never said it to myself because I never took the time to actually sit down and think. Which is exactly what I was saying earlier. I never gave myself the time to think. I've always been wrapped up in something else, distracting myself with something else. Not because I'm afraid of thinking like this, I actually much prefer this. But it just feels like there's so much going on, it's so easy to get lost in life. So easy to get wrapped up in things that aren't even that important. Yeah. And I have plenty of self-awareness, but the issue is, I feel like the more I get myself wrapped up in this stuff, it feels like there's just a veil over my eyes, like there's brain fog happening, because I haven't been taking the time to critically think and introspect like I used to, that I'm like losing the ability to. And that's like my fear. It's a use it or lose it type of deal, you know, the flea in the jar. If I don't use up my intelligence, I'm afraid of losing it. And the truth is, my intelligence is a key part of it's a key part of my identity. And without it, what am I? I don't know what I am without it. It's all I am, you know? I'm good at things. I'm the guy that's good at things, you know, that's what I am. If I'm not good at stuff, if I'm not the, like, best, like, what am I? If I'm not super good at all these things, I mean, I'm nothing besides that. I mean, I'm a child of God, and I don't understand why that's not enough for me. Why do I want more than that? Why do I need more than that? I don't know, but I just do. At the moment, at least. I don't know what I'm missing. What am I looking for, you know? Like, in this life, what am I searching for so vehemently? Nice. Like, seriously, what do I want? What is it that I want? I just don't know. I don't know. This got, like, way deeper than I thought it would. Like, low-key. But, I mean, I'm glad for it. I need to take the time to really sit down and think about some of these things. A lot more often than this. Like, this needs to be a near everyday thing, because this has been pretty helpful, actually. I cannot deny that I feel like good has come of this, definitely. I just wish I had all the answers, because I'm supposed to have all the answers, you know? I expect so much of myself. But I know it's not realistic, and I know it's stupid. Like, I'm making myself unhappy. I'm poisoning myself with this mindset. But I feel like if I'm anything less than my very best, than the best I could be, if I'm anything less than that, I've failed. It hurts, man. Again, I'm tired. I'm so tired. That's the strain I've been feeling. For like the past year or two, I felt this unexplainable strain on like my existence itself. Even on a good day, I would still, like, it's almost a pressure in my head. Like this overbearing sense of something. There was just something not quite right. And I think I get it now. It was just like the subconscious overbearing expectation. It was just more than I'm equipped to handle. You know, like, I will drive myself to ruin at this rate. Like, I will run myself ragged. And I can't live like that anymore. I can't live like this anymore. I'm always chasing and doing something. I just don't want to do that anymore. I feel like I should really take the time to figure out what I want, instead of just chasing the thing that makes me, you know, the best at something. It's not a bad thing to increase my skill set, and I am aware of that. And I am also aware of the very specific skill set I'm after, but I don't have to be the best at literally every single thing. You know? And I'm not even going to say I have the capability to be number one at everything. I never claimed for that to be true, and frankly, I don't think that is true. I can learn to be, like, very, very good at literally anything, though. That there is no doubt. I can be not number one in everything. I guarantee that's not true. Because some people are genuinely just born for stuff. Like, they are cracked out of their mind to begin with. It's kind of insane. Like, my only natural talent is learning. Like, I learned how to learn. And that is incredibly important. Once you learn how to learn, you can get really good at just about anything. Learning how to learn, being infinitely patient with yourself during the learning process, and being objective with yourself during the learning process makes it a bajillion times quicker. And generally, I'm also just naturally gifted in the sense that I adapt to information quickly. Of course, like I soak in a ton of information like a sponge. And I cannot deny that, but that's my only natural gift, is just learning. I can learn, but otherwise, when it comes to literally anything, I start off at the exact same point as everybody else. I used to suck at Tetris, now I'm pretty good at it. I used to suck at Beat Saber, I used to be average Joe Schmo at Beat Saber, and now I'm pretty good at it. Not where I was, I used to be top 2K, but now the competitive scene has changed completely. But, you know, that's something else. Nice. But, you know, again, I keep rambling on about natural talent and gifts. But there's so much more to people and life than that. And I know that. But it's like the only thing, it is like the, oh, damn. It's like the only thing that makes me feel like I'm something. It's not the comparison, it's just being good at something. By what benchmark? By my own benchmark. And I hold myself to incredibly high standards because of what I've been told my entire life, is that I'm so smart and I'm so talented, and that I can't stand anything less than, well, anything less than what I want. It's because of that I hold myself to such a high standard. But I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want that. I don't want to keep chasing all of this. It's not making me happy, like, at all. It's genuinely making me sad. Not sad, but it will drive me insane. And I mean that in a literal sense. It totally will. The constant chasing, the striving, it's too much. It really is too much for my mind. I can't take it. The thing is, yeah, I'm really good at absorbing information. It happens constantly, and I fucking hate it, dude. Seriously, I hate it. The truth is, I hate it. I hate that I'm like this. Because I'm always hyper aware. And I'm always thinking, there's always like 5 or 6 thoughts going through my mind at once, and it is just so exhausting. I'm tired I don't want to be thinking all the time, you know? It sucks. I want some peace and quiet in my own damn mind, and I never get it. Like, I'm so tired. I'm so strained. I feel so strained all the time. And it sucks. And it sucks. And it sucks. Big time. I just don't want to feel that way anymore, but, I mean, that's the way I was born. Like, this is how my brain has operated ever since I was young. It's a part of what makes me who I am. It's a part of what made me so quote-unquote great. So intelligent, so smart. And yet, it just feels like it's weighing me down. It just feels like it's weighing me down at this point. Because I feel like the consciousness is only supposed to take so much, and I feel like I'm pushing it. I feel like my mind is too weak for all the information it receives. It's overstimulating very often. I think I need to go to sleep because I feel overwhelmed just thinking about this. It's been a lot of very valuable thought. I will admit, but it's time for me to sleep, I feel. I'm making sure I'm not doxing myself, because, like, I don't know how Linux works. I don't know if there's, like, my IP somewhere. So I think we're good. We are A-okay here. And this whole droid cam thing, was going to be for my Geometry Dash blindfolded, but now I don't even know if I want to do that. I don't know. I'm still not quite sure on that, but it was a lot of valuable thought, a lot of rambling, and we got to some really personal stuff. Low-key, I did not intend for that to happen, but I'm kind of glad it did. But yeah, so I'm going to see all of you guys later. I'm going to get some sleep. Lord knows I need it. And hopefully I will feel better tomorrow. Hopefully